Hocalarım merhaba. Sesimi alabiliyor musunuz?
Merhaba
Sesim
hocam,
geliyor.
evet geliyor sesiniz.
Tamamdır. YouTube'dan yayını açtık. Şu anda Enes Hocam bir problem var mıdır? Nur Hocam hoş geldin.
Yok hocam. Yayın akıyor.
Tamamdır.
Merhabalar
Son,
hocam. Merhabalar
hoş
herkese.
geldiniz hocam. Hoş geldiniz. Şimdi Sayın Schwertel geldi ancak gitti bir daha. Katılımcıların gelmesini de bekliyoruz.
Yazayım mı hocam? Bekleyelim mi?
Bekleyelim hocam. Yani zaten 5 dakika var daha.
Linki size WhatsApp'tan da attım tekrar. Yine bilginiz olsun lazım olursa.
Neyi hocam anlayamadım.
Evet, linkini size WhatsApp'tan da yine attım lazım olursa diye. Bilginiz olsun.
Tamam.
Welcome. Hello.
Hello dear
Herr
professor.
Schwertel,
Hello, nice to see you.
herzlich
Hi.
willkommen.
Today is a day off in Germany, so it's very quiet here.
2 dakikamız var.
We have 2 minutes to go. Hi dear professor.
Hello. So how are you? Everything's fine? A lot of content over the day?
Fine, everything is fine. It's busy a little bit because of the conference. Is the new campus great?
It's wonderful. It's really big and huge. So we moved just from the middle of Cologne, outside of Cologne, and yeah, it's wonderful big halls to do lectures, nice garden, perfectly done. Yeah,
Wow.
much better than in the time of COVID, of course.
Merciful.
Evet hocam, sesim geliyor mu? Yayınımızda bir aksaklık var mı YouTube üzerinden?
Sorun yok hocam.
Tamamdır. Oturumu başlatıyorum izninizle.
Thank you for starting.
Sayın Rektörüm, Sayın Rektör Yardımcım, Sayın Dekanlarım, değerli konuklar, saygıdeğer meslektaşlar ve sevgili öğrenciler. Hepiniz birinci Uluslararası İletişim, Teknoloji, Sanat ve Tasarım Kongresi'ne yeniden hoş geldiniz. Kongremiz boyunca tüm oturumların kayıt altına alınacağı ve YouTube kanalımız üzerinden canlı olarak yayınlanacağını öncelikle belirtmek isterim.
Director, Vice Rector, Deans, esteemed guests, distinguished colleagues, and their students, welcome once again to the first International Communication Technology, Art and Design Congress. I would like to inform you that all sessions throughout our Congress will be recorded and broadcast live on our YouTube channel.
Kongremiz bugün önemli bir ismi ağırlayacak. Profesör Micheal Schwertel, Artificial Intelligence Role on Modern Journalism, Marketing, Ethics and Culture başlıklı konuşmasıyla bizlerle olacak.
Today, our Congress will host an important figure. Professor Micheal Schwertel will join us with his talk titled Artificial Intelligence Role on Modern Journalism, Marketing, Ethics and Culture.
Profesör Micheal Schwertel, medya ve iletişim alanında uluslararası tanınırlığa sahip saygın bir akademisyendir. Almanya'nın Köln Üniversitesi'nde medya ve iletişim profesörü olarak görev yapan Schwertel, dijital medya, yapay zeka ve etik konularında geniş kapsamlı araştırmalar yürütmektedir. Yüksek lisans ve doktora derecelerinde medya çalışmaları ve dijital kültür alanlarında tamamlayan Profesör Schwertel, kariyerine başladığından bu yana hem akademik dünyada hem de sektörde önemli katkılar sağlamıştır.
Professor Micheal Schwertel is a highly esteemed academic with international recognition in the field of media and communication. He serves as a professor of media and communication at the University of Cologne CBS Business School in Germany and conducts extensive research on digital media, artificial intelligence, and ethics. Having completed his master's and doctoral degrees in media studies and digital culture, Professor Schwertel has made significant contributions both in academia and the industry since the beginning of his career.
Profesör Schwertel'in kariyeri boyunca birçok uluslararası ödül ve takdir kazandığını belirtmek önemlidir. Özellikle dijital medya ve yapay zekanın modern gazetecilik üzerindeki etkileri üzerine yaptığı çalışmaları akademik dünyada büyük yankı uyandırmıştır. Kendisi dijital medyanın evrimi ve bu teknolojilerin etik boyutları konularında derinlemesine çalışmalara imza atmıştır. Çalışmaları dijital çağda gazetecilik pratiği ve medya etiği konularında önemli referans kaynakları arasında yer almaktadır.
It's important to note that throughout his career, Professor Schwertel has received various international awards and accolades. His work on the impact of digital media and artificial intelligence on modern journalism has resonated widely within the academic community. He has conducted in-depth studies on the evolution of digital media and the ethical dimensions of these technologies. His work has become a significant reference in the field of journalism practice and media ethics in the digital age.
Profesör Schwertel aynı zamanda birçok uluslararası konferansta davetli konuşmacı olarak yer almış, akademik makaleleri ve kitaplarıyla alandaki bilgi birikimine büyük katkılar sağlamıştır. 2020 yılında Dijital Media and Ethics adlı kitabı, dijital medyanın etik sorunlarını ele almasıyla büyük ses getirmiştir. Bu kitap birçok üniversitede ders kitabı olarak kullanılmakta ve dijital çağın getirdiği yeni etik sorumluluklar konusunda öğrencilere ve araştırmacılara rehberlik etmektedir.
Professor Schwertel has also been an invited speaker at many international conferences and has made significant contributions to the body of knowledge in the field throughout his academic articles and books. His book, Digital Media and Ethics, published in 2020, has made a significant impact by addressing the issues of the digital media. This book is used as a textbook in many universities and serves as a guide for students and researchers on the new ethical responsibilities brought about by the digital age.
Bunun yanı sıra Profesör Schwertel, medya ve iletişim alanında birçok projeye liderlik etmiş ve çeşitli araştırma fonları kazanmıştır. Avrupa Birliği tarafından finanse edilen projelerde aktif rol oynamış, medya ve iletişim teknolojilerinin toplumsal etkilerini araştırmış, bu projeler dijital medya politikalarının şekillenmesinde önemli rol oynamıştır.
In addition, Professor Schwertel has made numerous projects in the field of media and communication and has secured various research grants. He has played an active role in projects funded by the European Union researching the societal impact of the media and communication technology. These projects have played a crucial role in shaping digital media policies.
Profesör Schwertel'in bilgi ve deneyimlerinden faydalanmak bizler için büyük bir ayrıcalık. Yapay zekanın modern gazetecilik, pazarlama, etik ve kültür üzerindeki etkilerini bizlere aktaracak olan Profesör Schwertel'e kongremize katılımı ve değerli katkıları için minnetlerimizi sunuyorum.
It's a great privilege for us to benefit from Professor Schwertel's knowledge and experience. We're very grateful to Professor Schwertel for his participation and valuable contributions to our Congress. He will now share his insights on the impact of artificial intelligence on modern journalism, marketing, ethics, and culture.
Şimdi Profesör Micheal Schwertel'i konuşmasını yapmak üzere davet ediyor. Sözü kendisine bırakıyorum.
I now invite Professor Micheal Schwertel to deliver his speech. The floor is yours, dear Professor.
Yeah. Thank you very much. That's
Welcome
great.
again.
Thank you. So first of all, I have to thank you for this nice introduction and the invitation to your conference. This is a big honor for me. I'm really happy about this. And on the other side, I have to tell you the connection to your faculty, to your university, to your members is really nice on social media. So we use this tool of LinkedIn, Instagram, and so on to get closer together over the borders. But on the other side, we are talking about artificial intelligence. So, and everything I will tell you later on in my speech is about how we can talk together, how to get closer to each other. So everything I will show you with the technical sides of artificial intelligence, it's not so important like the bondage we have as humans all together. So just remember this. If I show you something later that is maybe a little bit too technical, the biggest important thing in on world is the human connection. So I think in the beginning, this is the most important thing I have to mention. I will share my screen. One moment. Here. Can you see it? Yeah. Wonderful. And
Yeah.
then I will just start this and you have more place to see. So
A little bit.
to my, can you see everything?
Yes, yes, we can see it.
Yeah. Okay, wonderful. So here you can see this artificial picture of your city that I made with Midjourney. A lot of you knows this this tool, but I like to start with a little picture. So at the moment we are on the bottom of a hill, and we just see a little snowball rolling down the hill, approaching us. So, and we know it's getting bigger and bigger with every meter. It's getting more powerful, but every time we turn away for just a second, it's much closer than we thought. And I gave this course now for 13 years at the CBS in Cologne for digital transformation, and we observed that there is the most things are very common in the time of the humans on Earth, but there's something special, and we have to keep an eye on this to understand what's going on in the next weeks, maybe. So I have a little example for you. So, for example, this tweet here from last year, from July, stated that 3D modeling is totally different now because you only have to upload one picture, and then you have the 3D model just in some seconds because of an artificial intelligence. So I worked as a 3D modeler by my own for many years. You need maybe 1 hour or 2 hours to do just some objects like this. And so you work for 8 hours and your output is 4 objects. Now you can make maybe 100. Yeah. So there would be another way of designing 3D objects just with this little invention. I know this from my son. He always models things for virtual reality headsets, and now he uses these tools just to implement them in his designs. So, but only 2 weeks later, last year, there was this tweet: 3D modeling is dead. One artist can do 100 times more with this workflow of the city builder. So 100 more time to build a city like New York. And I will show you one video of this. You draw just a map and you say there are smaller houses, bigger houses, and then the rest is generated. And the level of detail is unbelievable because everything is stone. Every crack in the street is modeled, textured, and because of the big data set of these software packages, it's practically done. And you can design by your own just by drawing some streets. Very rich. When you just select a region and then you generate. And then we have GTA, Spider-Man also done in 2 or 3 days. And I think this is unbelievable if you compare this with, for example, they ask me sometimes how much time or how much money, what kind of budget do you need to fulfill this need to build New York maybe for a game or so. And then I would calculate, yeah, maybe 20 people for 3 weeks or 4 weeks. And now one artist can do this in 3 days, maybe. So it's much faster. But only to remember you, just 2 weeks before, the 3D modeler thought about, now I have to get used to model my headsets in 3D with an artificial intelligence just in some seconds. And then 2 weeks later, okay, I can build now a city in 3D with this. So the speed is unbelievable. And this is from August. Of course, there is now a new engine that you can build or generate in 3D nature. Here you can see the polygons. It's in real time. So it's not something that you have to render. It's for computer games in real time made. So for me, as someone who started in the time of Jurassic Park or the film of Jurassic Park, this is unbelievable what you can do, because we rendered for short films sometimes years to get 3D footage out of a computer. Now you can do this in real time and get everything generated. So the big question is this a chance for humankind, or is it a risk? For example, if you think a filmmaker in Germany for documentaries or so, he will receive maybe 100,000 euros just to calculate this for a 90-minute film. And then he has to get all these things done for his vision. But now he can get maybe 10 times more work out of the money, and then he can fulfill his vision of the film. So he's not connected to the budget so far like maybe 2 years before or 10 years before. On the other side, if he wants to earn money from other filmmakers to edit something, to generate some pictures, designs, maybe he will get unemployed. So this is the big risk between unemployment and to fulfill the visions. To get a better overview of this, I have some other examples of history. So for example, here, the Sumerian 6,000 years ago, they invented the typeface. So just in stone, they get the informations for other people. So after they died, they could give this information to other people. And this was a big thing, because before this point of humankind, there was no history, because there was nothing written in stone or on a piece of paper. And it took very, very long time that they found a way to write these books down in other books. So they did this in the 13th century to write this in just in of a piece of paper, and then it was very stressful to do so. So the big invention, the printing press of a German one, this was Gutenberg. He invented to distribute the informations in books in a faster way. This was also a big step for humankind. And now we have the chance with artificial intelligence to get informations out of our informations. So we are not able to read all books in the world. And if we would be able to read them, we couldn't get the information in our head, or we couldn't remember all the books. After we are done with the last book, we couldn't remember what was in the first book. And with artificial intelligence, we have the chance to understand what's in these books, what kind of information is important for me. The big problem is if Gutenberg, for example, would have invented the internet, for example, 5 days later after he invented the printing machine, we wouldn't be able to read, and we had to take care about cookies, web browsers, and so on. And I think this is very the same case with this head speaker in 3D, and on the other side to generate a jungle or a city. We are not able to understand what this means if we just start with something like the printing machine, and the next day there is the internet, and we have to read, and we have this responsibility how to act with these new technologies. And I think this is really hard to understand for humankind to keep up. So the risk of being overwhelmed and the danger of ignoring innovations is very high, because a lot of people will say, oh no, I just use a piece of paper and I draw, and I don't want to use computers, for example, or the new technique, the new AI. And we have some business examples like Kodak. I can remember I was at the Berlinale and I saw the CEO of Kodak, and he told us, everyone wants to see films in an analog style. So it's much more warmer, and we will be the market leader also in the future. And this was wrong. And accidentally, they had the digital camera in their company already, but they decided to sell the old products first. So, and I think this is not the way we can succeed in the future. Or for example, for e-commerce, if you decided in the beginning of the internet, I don't want to use the internet, I don't want to know what it is, and you you were ignorant to use it for your business, then you are just gone. So that's part of the game. And now it's faster. Or for example, professions are always disappearing and creating new ones. We had some years ago in the 50s, there was a job to connect people on the telephone. So you had to ring up this lady and then you get the next connection. So there is no need for this job anymore. So we don't have to try to conserve it for the future. Or the fax machine. There were people only there to fax a piece of paper to the other side of the world. And they did nothing else than just typing the number in this fax machine. We don't need these jobs. So it's good that jobs are changing, but of course, not so fast. On the other side, in the digitalization or in the digital age, we are used to check in at the airport by our own with a computer, with a machine. So there are 24 machines helping us to get our luggage on the plane. On the other side, there is one person for all the problems. So someone who's responsible for 25 counters. And I think you can adapt this to every kind of case. For the banks, where you get your own money out of the computer, where you serve yourself, and for all kind of jobs. So you are more productive, 20 times more or 100 times more. But on the other side, if there is a problem, you are responsible. And I think it's not so much fun to work there for 25 machines and get all the trouble of 25 machines, of course. So, but this is something that is normal to us. What is not normal to us is if we are an expert on our field and we know everything about our topic. For example, we know everything about horses, how to take care of them, how to use them to transport people. Then, yeah, we had before 25 years time to decide, oh, maybe I will buy a car and will be a taxi driver. So it took 25 years that things changed and we had time to decide or just to test it maybe for a time. These times are over. If you see this table here, you see Netflix had 3.5 years to get 1 million users, Facebook 10 months, Instagram 2.5 months. Maybe you can remember Pokemon Go here in Germany. After 12 days, everyone had it. All kids on the street used Pokemon Go. ChatGPT, 5 days, Threads, 1 hour. Unbelievable how fast this is. So if you have a good idea, if you have an AI that is good and good distributed, it's there in seconds. And this is different. We have no chance to decide anymore because it's just there. So, and there is a new understanding of this speed because there is a reason for it. And I saw this in the early beginning of my course already, this Moore's law. So Gordon Moore, he stated that in the 60s already, that the CPU speed will double every 16 to 18 months. And he was right. So if you see it here on this table, you see that every time the CPU was faster. But this is not a linear development of the speed. Here you can see 2 and 4. And yeah, this is not a line. This is a curve, an exponential curve, like we know this from COVID times. I have one example for you to understand this exponential growth. If you fold a piece of paper one time, it's double the size, of course. If you do this 21 times, it's only possible to do this 7 times physically, but virtually 21 times. Then it's as high as a house. How much do I have to fold it to reach out to the moon? So it's not 1,000 times, 100 times, it's just 42 times. And then you are at the moon. With 51 times, you are to the sun, and with 103 to the end of the universe. So because it's so fast, if you just double a step, for example, 2 steps, 4 steps, 8 steps, 16, it's really fast growing. And it's hard to understand for us because we have only a linear life. And with this exponential growth of rendering, of thinking about self-learning processes, and this is connected to artificial intelligence, it's getting faster and faster every day. And you can see this, for example, here in this table. They asked experts about artificial intelligence experts, how many years we need to reach out to AGI, so a perfect artificial intelligence that you can ask everything and they have always a solution because, oh, what is the meaning of life? Just build up this machine and give me the numbers and I will tell you something that is really crazy, more intelligent than humans. And they asked them 2019 and they stated, maybe with GPT-3, 80 years could be possible. And then half a year later, 50 years, maybe, with OpenAI's announcement of GPT-3. And then it was maybe 34 years because we saw that Facebook is also engaged in artificial intelligence, and then ChatGPT launched to the public, 18 years, GPT-4 launched, 8 years. So in 2023, experts thought AGI will come in 2030. But if you just calculate in these statements how they were wrong in the years before, it will be 2026. And this is crazy that a lot of people, they say AGI is impossible. That's not possible. ChatGPT or Gemini, they have some aspects that in the definition of earlier decades, they thought it's already AGI. But just think about this. 2026 is maybe the time AGI will come. And I think this feeling in the stomach when you just think about the tools of today, what you can use, it's really like this. If you would have asked me about video generation 1 year ago, and I would have said to you what's possible today, you would have thought I would be crazy. I self would thought I would be crazy for the next 5 years, maybe, that this is possible in 5 years. This is unbelievable. And this is only the development of CPU speed with the old model. So the new things for rendering self-learning processes for artificial intelligence is the quantum computers, where you are faster than this because you don't have only 1 and 0, you have much more numbers to calculate with. So if you just see it like here, that you have this exponential growth as a blue line. So this is an exponential growth, this line here. And we are today a little bit slower than the CPU. But if there is the point where the quantum computers are faster than the CPU, it will explode. So because exponential growth in a linear exponential growth is an explosion. So in the near future, there will be no problem to calculate something. It's just there. So this is for sure in the next years. But our current reality, I only can speak for Germany. So if I want, for example, go to, first of all, maybe I have to say, if you see this CPU speed, artificial intelligence, you think we are already living in cyberspace and science fiction. But our current reality is, if I want to go to the dentist and I want to get an appointment for my next date with the dentist, then the people will work with paper. So I get my appointment on a piece of paper. She will write it in a paper book and will just work some minutes on this to get an appointment out of this. And if I ask this assistant why she couldn't give me something like an email or an appointment in an email for my calendar or so, she stated to me, okay, yes, we have this software, but I don't have the time to take care about this because I have to invest 2 hours maybe of my life to learn how to do it and save every day half an hour. And I think this is the same. Every one of us has this as a problem because we know there is something like a software to help us, maybe to reduce our stress to build New York City, a jungle or so. But we have to invest so much time to learn it. And on the other side, we have our daily jobs to do, so we don't have the time to learn something about this. And for this, I would like to show you some of the tools of today, how to use it for production. So for example, AI text tools, you have this, you all know this ChatGPT. I started in 2019 with Jasper, TextFX, and so on. So a lot of people, they don't know that already half a year ago, ChatGPT was able to see and to hear and to speak. Now the people, they are starting to talk to the app of OpenAI, but there's already the GPT-4o with new functions coming out. And I think this is also a problem of distribution. Google has something that is much more intense in the functionalities than GPT-4o, but somehow it's much more in the media or on Twitter or Threads. If you want to use it for media production, I had here some points how to use it for ChatGPT, for example. It's not only to generate text, it's also good for research notes, for interview guides, for transcriptions, voice-over scripts, log lines, synopsis, everything. So you can get out of every perspective of an expert a feedback about your script as a psychologist, as a film producer. So that's really helpful for media production, I think, if you learn this from a documentary field. For treatments, outlines, press releases, marketing texts, everything. So there is nothing that you have to not to use with ChatGPT. And I think with the new version, more cases will come that you show your clip, your ad or something like this in the video and get a feedback of an expert. For the AI picture tools, every one of you knows Midjourney. So you used Midjourney. I guess you used it. But something that is important for me is the speed in this. Just remember that they started with version 1 in February 2022. And I think photorealistic version 4, maybe 5, and it took only 1 year. So for humankind, for the people developing the written word or informations on stone, the Sumerian, if they would invent something like generating a picture, course of text could take maybe 20 years, 100 years, 200 years. It would be very fast for humankind. But 12 months, it's unbelievable. And there you can see this exponential growth. The actual status of Midjourney is this. You can see everything, every kind of detail, and it's perfectly done in the pictures. But if you think about this, that if you see something from artificial intelligence that is blurry at the moment, give this technique 12 months and it will be perfect. And at the moment we are working in this field, in the video field, and sometimes it's a little bit blurry, but yeah, maybe in 5 years, maybe in 2 months, there will be something that is much, much better. And we have to learn this, to adapt this, that if something is not perfectly done by AI, in 2 weeks, it could be there. And I think this is a new kind of learning because we have to adapt this. Then, of course, you know this from Midjourney, from generative fill, from Adobe Photoshop. I don't have to explain it to you because you're familiar with these topics, stable diffusions. But there are also in 3D things where you can capture nerves, 3D objects, and get 3D objects out of your smartphone. So I started at a university with very expensive equipment to get the real world in a computer in 3D. Now you can do this with your smartphone. And they have so much data about your objects in 3D that you can prompt it now. So with Genie from Luma AI, you can just type in cute dinosaur and you get a 3D model out of this. You can do sketching with CAD-IM, for example, for objects that you get something out of Midjourney prompts. You can get your visions out of your head very easily with techniques like this. This is a computer game where you can build castles just in 3D. And I think this is nice to build games maybe more intuitively than we knew this from the old software packages. And of course, like I showed you before, give the AI a picture and you get a 3D model out of this. So you make a little sketch, pimp it up in Midjourney or another software, and then you get a 3D model out of your sketch. We worked very long time to build technical illustrations from these kinds of black and white plans. Now you just need a smartphone, take a picture, and you have this model. So we worked sometimes on big ships in 3D for a week. Now you can do this just with an artificial intelligence. With the AI language tools, you know, of course, 11 Labs. I will show you later an example for this. So speech is no problem. I saw just 2 days ago a sample of Udio AI. Maybe you know Suno, where you can just make new music. You type in what kind of music you want to get, and then it will be broadcasted. And with Udio, I heard a gospel singer like a real woman breathing and modulations of the voice. Unbelievable. So everything is possible with the speech, but you know this. But just 2 weeks ago, Google showed a tool like this. So I think this is just a little app, a little artificial intelligence tool, but it's so powerful because you can compare this with a new medium like podcast, like radio, like television. You only have to stuff your knowledge in PDFs and maybe slides, all kind of information you have about the topic, maybe course of you. You put it into this tool, and then it will generate a podcast with two voices. So these two voices will talk about this topic. And every time you have a question, you can ask them like in a radio show. So I will just show you a little video about this.
So there's this one called Notebook LM where users can upload tons and tons of documents, charts, diagrams, and then have Gemini generate things like study guides, FAQs, quizzes, and even an AI generated like podcast type thing to help you understand concepts a little bit better.
Let's dive into physics. What's on deck for today?
Well, we're starting with the basics, force and motion.
Okay.
And that, of course, means we have to talk about Sir Isaac Newton and his 3 laws of motion.
Ah, yes, the foundation for understanding how objects move and interact.
Join.
Hold on, we have a question. What's up, Josh?
Yeah, can you give my son Jimmy a basketball example?
Hey, Jimmy, that's a fantastic idea. Basketball is actually a great way to visualize force and motion. Let's break it down.
Yeah, so I think this is a new way of learning, and also a lot of right issues are there. So if someone is using my slides or PDFs or books, but is selling this as their content with other voices, it's crazy. It's really crazy. But if there is no, if the quality of the voices are so good like this, everything is possible. So we will see this. And for video tools, and I think this is something that is coming up in the next days very fast. And this is, I think the AI standard of today is really interesting. So we all know this HeyGen stuff where you can get a virtual moderator of yourself, where you can talk with your own language and so on. This is old. Maybe Pika Labs. I think this is interesting because the development of Pika Labs was good enough that I thought, okay, animation design is now different. So I will show you a little clip of this just to remember. Maybe a lot of you know this already, but I think if you can do something like this, a big portion of the production field of animation is gone somehow, because if a client will say, oh, we need a little video for social media, could you please make an animation with something like a cow in space, they will do it by their own.
We're gonna take it to that.
Yeah, so I think this is a lot to understand. And there are other tools to use. I don't want to show them all. We don't have the time for this, but Domo AI, there is the possibility where you can just make videos with your smartphone and you could get Pixar or manga style out. There are tools, something that is really interesting, Premiere, plug in Autopod. You can just record a podcast with video and you get this kind of collection, edited, synchronized, just in your Premiere Pro session. So a self-edited video stream. unbelievable, saves a lot of time. Or the story toolkit, really interesting. This is for free. You can use ChatGPT with with Whisper to analyze the speech and picture recognition software, and then you can put 60 hours of content into AI, get analyzed, and then you say, I would like to get a clip about family. So TV reality show like Big Brother. I'm consulting some TV companies over here in Germany. So if you have the content of Big Brother and you have hundreds of hours of content, and then you say, okay, just search everything about the context, not only a family in the picture or mentioned in the language, you get out, there are father and mother and kid. This will be something about family, and then it will understand what this means and will edit small clips for you. And Gemini 1.5 is also capable to do things like this, to understand, show me something like piece of paper out of the pocket, and then it will just jump to this area. Or for example, you make a drawing and then you will jump to the scene where it was located. Of course, you know Sora as a tool. I think this was a huge step. I never expected that this would be so fast coming up. So this was on the 15th of February this year. And you all know the footage of these videos. So if you would show a drone flight over the gold rush times, you get perfectly done footage. There is no need to do this in 3D, but you don't know how they did it somehow. So is it because of the data of some postcards of the gold rush, or is it because of Westerns from Hollywood in the 60s, what they thought it could look like? And this is, I think, very difficult. If you get this footage so fast and you have no idea what is the basis of this data. Another clip that is from Sora that is really interesting is this here. Can you hear my sound very well? Or? Yeah. So maybe you know all the footage, you saw this, but I was really fascinated by this clip because I didn't expect it that this is possible nowadays.
In a place beyond imagination, where the horizon kisses the heavens, one man dares to journey where few have ventured. Armed with nothing but his wit and an unyielding spirit, he seeks the answers to mysteries that lie beyond the stars.
Okay, so do you get it? The clip is actually about the sound because this was automated by AI. So there is no need for sound designers anymore. So not the really good sound designers, but if you just give this software the pictures, you get the sounds out, unbelievable. And the big problem of Sora was that there was no consistency for the characters, but they solved it with the new version. So you can now get the same or different people in the same scenery, and you can change this. So I think this is a huge step, that you get always the same actor in different scenes, that you can replace them with other actors and so on. So there's a lot going on at the moment. And very interesting is that in China, they also have the same kind of status already, because I thought Sora is 10 years ahead or so, but in China they have their own video model already. And Google just showed this I think 1 week ago, where you can just, so, and they said it's more detailed than Sora. So it's really developing from day to day. So there's photorealistic pictures, videos, movements. So there will be, in many cases, no need to go out there with a camera and shoot things if you get this done with a text prompt. And the next thing to top this is Adobe Premiere Pro, I think. If you see this here, that this
Adobe
is
is using the
now
power of
an
generative AI
enormous
to deliver the
software
most
package
advanced and precise editing
every
tools ever
editor
in
could
Premiere
use.
Pro.
Unbelievable.
Let's take a look at some features coming soon, powered by our new Adobe Firefly video model that'll transform how editors work. One common editing challenge is finding something in a shot you need to add or replace. The Object Addition feature in Premiere Pro, combined with Adobe's Firefly video model, lets you add or change objects and footage with a text prompt. Make a selection, write a prompt, and add anything you can imagine.
In moving images.
These diamonds were created by the Firefly video model currently in development. And not only can you add objects, but you can easily remove them too.
So what we
Object
saw
removal
before
with
with
AI-based
Pika
smart
is now
masking
also
makes
possible
selecting
with
and removing
Adobe.
objects across frames quick and precise. Here, this distracting utility box is removed with Firefly. Remove unwanted props, crew or gear, or copyrighted elements like brand logos. And with Premiere Pro, all your edits are non-destructive, so you can always get back to your original footage. When your clip is too short and you want to hold on a shot or a character for an extra beat, Generative Extend intelligently adds frames with Firefly, extending your
So
footage.
you have only
So you have the
10
exact
seconds
media
of
you need.
material,
Like
and
here,
you
where
want
we
to get
extend this shot of
15,
the woman a few
just
frames.
generate a moving
As we
image.
continue to innovate, we're committed to transparency through the use of content credentials. Now coming to Premiere Pro, so you always know whether AI was used in the creation of the media you're viewing. We can't wait to bring these Firefly-powered video editing workflows to Premiere Pro later this year. And there's more. We're excited to share our explorations around giving editors the choice to use models that work best with their footage. Here are some early examples of how third-party generative AI models could look within Premiere Pro, like Pika,
Like I
powering
showed you
generative
before
extend
Pika.
to make a scene flow better. From OpenAI, here's an example of their
And
Sora
if
model,
there was no
currently in early
picture
research,
from your
generating
cameraman,
B-roll for any scene. Through simple text prompts, Sora creates variations for you to choose from. Here's the same use case now using Runway AI's video model, generating a new video clip.
so just want to make it a little bit shorter. If you use it for news, for example, interviews with politicians, and you generate a politician saying yes or no, and then getting different mimics out of the face, it's unbelievable what's going on in the normal standard software now. So I think we need 10 years time or so to discuss what is possible and what is not. So is then a little bit more time about this, or we are already a little bit late, I think. So I will show you some of the outcome. So the AI perspective is it's irresistible, it's really fast, and we have to realize that everything is possible. So even if we learned that something is not possible, we have to learn. Oh, okay. It could be possible. It could be possible that in 1 week it's realistic that it will be working. So the best way to predict the future is to invent it. Alan Kay said this, and we have to decide what kind of way we want to get with artificial intelligence, how to reach out for the hand, and what kind of future we want to see. Is this a kind of city we want to live in, or do we want to build it in another way? The only thing that we know how the future looks like is like this. It's really fast, and we have to find a way how to work with this artificial intelligence together. So I try to educate my students to get used to work with artificial intelligence with people together. So it's a big risk, but also immense possibilities. So I think for the possibilities, we need openness and acceptance, creativity detached from budgets, more efficient workflows, personalized creations, better collaboration, and willingness to learn, increase competitiveness, productivity, make better decisions, and future-proof, and critical observation. So I will take just some minutes to show it to you because I think it's so funny. So Mira Murati just was in an interview with the Wall Street Journal in March. So just have a look.
What data was used to train Sora?
We used publicly available data and licensed data.
So videos on YouTube?
I'm actually not sure about that.
Okay. Videos from Facebook, Instagram?
You know, if they were publicly available, publicly available to use, there might be the data, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not confident about it.
What about Shutterstock? I know you guys have a deal with them.
I'm just not going to go into the details of the data that was used, but it was publicly available or licensed data.
Yes, so I have trust issues to OpenAI, to be honest. And I think they don't want to tell us where the data is coming from of the stuff we are using. And then if you see that Google released this here just some days ago.
Give me a creative alliteration about these.
Creative crayons color cheerfully. They certainly craft colorful creations.
What does that part of the code do?
This code defines encryption and decryption functions. It seems to use AESCBC encryption to encode and decode data based on a key and an initialization vector, IV.
That's right. What neighborhood do you think I'm in?
This appears to be the King's Cross area of London. It is known for its railway station and transportation connections.
Do you remember where you saw my glasses?
Yes, I do. Your glasses were on the desk near a red apple.
So now she wears these glasses and can talk with the glasses directly. But have you seen this? This is a memory of the glasses. So it's saved. And these are the companies not giving us the information where they got the information to teach their artificial intelligence. And now they are recording everything and saving where the classes are, what kind of papers are on your desk. And this maybe 10 years ago or so, if they recorded this. Unbelievable. So I have these trust issues, and we need this critical observations to get used to this, and very fast, because the techniques are there and then we have to react with this. So openness, acceptance, critical observation, willingness to learn, and ethics. It's always, I think, very important that we talk about ethics, even if it's only about informatics or so. So I think personally the biggest risk of AI isn't the technology itself, but the missed opportunity to use it to our advantage. So hopefully we can use it to fulfill our visions just on our table, like we want to develop, to design what we want to do. Yes, and of course, every kind of pictures were generated by AI, also the last picture of me. So it's based on 10 pictures of me, and here are my contact dates. Just stay connected And I hope to see you sometimes in Istanbul in the next weeks or month or so. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you.
Profesör Schwertel'e katkıları için çok çok teşekkür ediyoruz. Kıymetli katılımcılarımız, eğer sorularınız varsa Türkçe olarak da alabiliriz, İngilizce olarak da alabiliriz.
Thank you, Professor Dr. Schwertel, for your valuable information. Now it's Q&A time. Are there any questions? If you want to ask questions to Professor Schwertel in Turkish, please write in the comment section of our YouTube live broadcast, okay? Those who want to ask a question in English can ask by just raising their hands.
Var mıdır sorusu olan?
Okay.
Yes, yes,
Tuğba, Tuğba hocamız.
Yes, the professor.
Can you hear me well, first of all?
Yes, we can hear you well.
Okay. Thank you. Teşekkür ederim Nur Hocam. Thanks so much, Nur Emre Koç and Begüm Aydın. Thanks for your all contributions. And I would like to thank Professor Micheal Schwertel and vielen Dank für Ihre Gespräch. Das war ganz toll. Aber ich werde nicht weitergehen mit meinem Deutsch. I will continue in English because I think I can explain it a better way. I have seen that, if I have rightly understood you, you have also emphasized the problem of space and time through the machine understanding by means of artificial intelligence. My concern is about much more maybe philosophical and ethical point of view in terms of the problem of space and time, as I also studied philosophy in China and Germany. I'm always wondering, that's just for curiosity, how do we really perceive space and time if we are so engaged with artificial intelligence? I'm just wondering about your answer or possible comments. Thank you.
So how we engage in space and time with artificial intelligence is the question.
Yes, do we really perceive it? I'm skeptical about whether we really perceive, because when I was in China, I was just seeing that people were often using ChatGPT and translation machines. It was really common there. They were just going to streets and talking to the machines, and then the machine were just translating it for them on themselves. And it was really unbelievable to see this dynamic and how fast it is really going through all the world. But my question, by this idea, do we really perceive time and space?
I think that artificial intelligence or computers or machines are not able to get our experience. So it's a little bit like artificial intelligence is on another planet and they know everything about, like aliens. Yeah, so they know everything about water and that it's boiled with 100 degrees or so. They know everything. Also what people think about water, but they never experienced this to feel water in the skin, on the beach, in a mountain sea or so. There is not really an experience, and it's crazy to expect that a machine or a box could write me a love letter or so. And I think we don't need this, that they take place in our experience world. So they can help us with informations, and this is fine. But every time I want to see something of a human or feelings of a human, I don't want to get an imitated feeling. So I need this experience of another human, and then it makes sense. So I think the connection is lost from AI to the human, and the time of AI is very much faster because it's not a biological machine. It's just somehow energy on wires, and that's it. Is this an answer?
Yes, it's pretty clear actually. And I think if the AI really doesn't perceive this time and space within the ideal version of humankind, and I think it's also reflected open on the human experiences.
Mhm.
So human somehow, as you already mentioned about, is in risk in perceiving the time and space in the
Mhm.
way that we perceive, maybe not that much, but perceive in the way. Therefore, it's so interesting to see this dimension, how actually AI operates through the
Yeah,
models of
of
time and spaces.
Mhm.
As you
Yeah.
already shown as a linear version, is repeatedly growing. On the
Mhm.
one side, it's repeatedly growing, but on the other side, there's always risk of this algorithmic risk of a time and space problem, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure, but it was really interesting for me. Thanks for yours.
Yeah, thank you.
Teşekkür ederiz hocam. Başka sorusu olan var mıdır sayın
I
katılımcılar?
have a question actually. I have a question. Dear Professor, I want to ask a question about the AI and the biases. I mean, how can biases present in training data sets lead to discriminatory outcomes in AI? Everybody's talking these kind of things these days, AI systems. And what are some effective strategies for identifying and mitigating these biases during the development and deployment of the AI technology?
Yeah, I think this is crazy. If you would explain it to someone from 1900 or so, that you would say, okay, we will develop something like social media, Twitter with hate speech. So everyone will shout at each other, and we use this data to develop our artificial intelligence. Unbelievable. So, and I talked to some technical experts, and they told me, oh, we are surprised by ourselves that there is not more harm also into this artificial intelligence. And I saw also something of OpenAI. They had a filter to describe ChatGPT. You are a large language model. You try to help humans, and you would never be saying that you have something like a subconscious or so. It's just programmed. So if you would read the source code or what's coming out of the machine, it would be maybe different. And with bias in general, it's a problem that the data set is always based on the real humans, and there are very dirty thoughts in it. And it's hard to get them out, because every time you say we want to get men and women equal, for example, you have to define who's a woman, who's a man. And the same is with the skin color, with sexual orientation, and so on. You have to define this first, that the computer is not taking care about this. And this is racism in one way or another. And this is hard. Maybe we have to work on this, that our data set is getting better for humankind, and then we have a solution. But to program this, it's very cost intensive. Cost intensive is not popular. So we will see what's coming up next in this. But I think bias is a big topic for the big software companies.
Thank you.
Teşekkürler. Sorusu olan var mıdır?
Are there questions in English or in Turkish?
Sanırım yok hocam. Profesör Doktor Schwertel'e vermiş olduğu kıymetli bilgiler için bir kez daha teşekkür ediyoruz. Çok kıymetli idi bizlerle birlikte olması. Değerli katılımcılar, oturumlarımız devam edecek. Sırada Nenat Perik hocamızın sunumu olacak. Her birinizi tekrar bekliyorum. Çok teşekkürler.
We thank all of you for your all contributions, and we thank Professor Micheal Schwertel for his contributions to our Congress. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. It was fun.
We're very honored that you are in here.
Yeah, I will come to Istanbul very soon, and then we
Yeah,
will
we're waiting.
in
And
person.
I think I'm going to come to Roterkirchen.
Yeah, Rodenkirchen, yeah.
Okay, I'm
Oh,
going
you
to
speak all
I'll
so
come to the
nice
conference.
German. I will only speak in German now.
Ah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. You're welcome to Istanbul. We're all waiting for you.
And you're welcome in Cologne. CBS has always a place for you. So if you have an idea to collaborate, just maybe a lecture or whatever, just send me a message or just keep in touch. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.